Okay, the fun stuff begins. We got the necessities out of the way. Now let's get into the thick of it. Every ad platform has a tracking code. Facebook calls it a pixel. I actually forget what Google calls it. I think it's a tracking code. TikTok calls it a pixel, right? Everything has a tracking code, and essentially what that tracking code is it places a small image. None of you can see it to the human eye. It is very, very small, but it is embedded on that page, on that website, on your funnel. You can do it in emails if you've got hacking capabilities. I don't recommend it because you'll get blacklisted quickly. You can put those tracking codes there, and what it's going to do is that ad platform that sent you that traffic or has that person registered in their database and they know who it is, will track that that person visited that page on your website. And when that person visits the page on your website, it's then going to be leveraged to track your conversions. This is how, when you're talking to your friend, you're at your house, and you're talking about boats, right? You've never looked up boats, but for some reason, Malibu pops up in your newsfeed 5 minutes after that conversation ends. Yes, iPhone, Siri, Alexa, they're all listening, and I'm probably going to get boat ads here after this speech is done, right? But the way that they correlate that is it goes, if you're visiting a website, if I want to retarget you after you've hit my opt-in page but did not book in, and I want to throw an ad up that says, hey, you creep, I saw you looking at us, but you didn't sign up. You must not want to grow your business. I can run an ad like that, and then as soon as somebody leaves that page, probably within the next 15 minutes, if they open up their news feed or whatever platform it is, they're going to see that ad and they're going to be like, okay, how do you do that, right? And then that question then sparks the next question. Okay, I'm going to go opt in. I'm going to see what these guys are about, right? That is done by your tracking code. If you do not have that installed on your website, your funnel, right now, by a show of hands, does everybody have their pixel installed? Okay, if you didn't raise your hands, you've got a funnel or a website problem. So talk to our team during the breakout session. You need to have that tracking code installed because if you don't, you're flying blind whenever you run ads. How you install those tracking codes is purely up to you. You can install one for every single ad platform. You can install one for the ones that you use. My recommendation is whether or not you have the budget to spend on advertising across all platforms or retargeting and those things today is to install all tracking codes for all ad platforms today so that algorithm can start getting trained. Because there will come a day when you need to implement retargeting, when you need to implement your ad strategies on other platforms, and if you have to waste that time collecting data via the pixel, then it's going to take you forever to build up success with those campaigns. So install those now. Now, when you install them, Google Tag Manager is a free software that Google provides. And those of you that don't know web development or funnel development, I'm not going to go into explicit detail, but essentially, whenever you're running ads, things like that, a big factor of what drives a conversion or doesn't drive a conversion is how long it takes for that page to load. So if I click on your ad and it takes 4 minutes or 40 seconds to open up your landing page and display everything, you lost my opt-in. And that's going to be one of the biggest reasons you lost an opt-in. And that's a media buying issue, not a marketing issue, okay? Using Google Tag Manager, instead of firing every single one of those pixels on your funnel, you can populate them all in Tag Manager, and Tag Manager is the only pixel that fires. So it speeds up your page load times. The reason being is because all that data has to pass through the internet to get delivered. If there's more codes, that's more JavaScript, which is a heavier load on the servers, which takes longer to load your website. So if you need to learn about Google Tag Manager, there's literally 100,000 videos on YouTube teaching you how to set this up and install it. So I'm not going to waste your time today going through it. With Google Tag Manager, I want to talk about the benefits, though. Greater security and control for sharing. So say you have a business partner, you have team members, etc., that you're going to have managing your ads. Maybe you're hiring an agency. Maybe you hire a partner. Whatever it is, instead of giving them physical access to your assets, you can give them access to your Tag Manager. And they can go and install the tracking codes that they need, the standard events that they need, etc., without giving back-end admin access to your digital assets. Okay, you have greater control over the parameters that you're tracking. So in Google Tag Manager, you can set up when someone visits this page, they stay for 30 seconds, they scroll 50% down the page, fire this pixel, right? Then you're only tracking something specific to what you want, okay? That is that. The next tracking piece that you will want to implement is UTM parameters. Who knows what UTM parameters are? Okay. This is something kind of convoluted, kind of confusing. I've worked with highly paid media buyers that didn't even know what UTM parameters were. And when I first learned about UTM parameters, I was confused. So if you guys don't understand or get this, that's totally fine. I'm going to dumb this down as much as I possibly can. And if I fail at doing that, blame me. UTM parameters are essentially a URL-based tracking system to pass information from a source to the next place. So if we're thinking about this in context, you click on a Facebook ad. Every single Facebook ad has a UTM parameter called the FBC. That's essentially Facebook click, and that's how Facebook registers that you clicked on their ad and you visited that page. Facebook won't know that you visited that page if your pixel is not installed, so make sure you have that installed. Now, when it passes that through, that parameter is then passed into the pixel, and Facebook can register that. UTM parameters are for your guys' use cases, so you can track your custom campaigns, track where that lead came from, what ad they clicked on, etc. Now, some of you may be wondering, what's the benefit of all this, right? Justin, myself, and our CMO can go inside our Google Suite dashboard. It's a custom-built thing that we set up. We pass all our data into, and we can see that 37% of the offers our sales reps make clicked on this ad, and they were at this targeting in this audience. So now we know this audience and this ad have message market match, right? Tracking and data are how you make decisions, okay? So what does a UTM parameter look like? Over here on the left, you have many UTM parameters. You can even use custom made-up UTM parameters like, why is Zach so cute? Could be a UTM parameter, and you could throw an equal sign out there, and it'd work. But Google has pre-registered UTM parameters called UTM source, UTM campaign, UTM content, and campaign ID, ad ID, target ID. There's many things out there. These are the ones that we use, okay? Now, UTM source at the top is the traffic source. That's how we use it. You can use it for whatever you want. You're not restricted by what information you can pass for these parameters, but this is how we use it. UTM source, we put as the place where that traffic came from. For UTM campaign, we pass through the name of the campaign that traffic came from. For UTM content, we pass through what was the content piece. Was it a video? Was it an image? There's people that will use UTM content to describe the video, right? So if the video is Justin standing on a beach picking up a starfish, who's seen that ad? Nobody? Oh, Justin, we got to run that one again. That was a good ad. Anyways, we could put that in UTM content and know that that's something that's engaging with the audience. You have ad ID. So this is essentially the name of the ad. That's how we use it. People will use random numbers. We started doing it that way, and then I was like, okay, listen, I have no clue what this is, and I have to spend hours going back through and trying to match things up. Just put the title of that ad, okay? Put the title of your targeting. So this is why naming conventions that you use in managing your ad campaigns is extremely important, because the information that you're going to pass through is going to give you contextual information when you're reading these reports without having to jump into Facebook Ad Manager and be like, oh, what did I name the agency audience? You put it in there, it's descriptive, you have all the information you need. As you can see on the right-hand side, we have the URL parameters place where you can enter that information. It's as simple as writing UTM_source equals, and then you put the content. Facebook makes it easy on you. Other than Facebook ads, because they don't form that the way that we want to for our tracking, that's the only one we have to manually type in, and UTM content for the purpose of what we use it for. UTM campaign, ad ID, and target ID. So the most important information, the campaign they came from, the ad name that they clicked on, and the audience that they came from, Facebook will give you via a dynamic link. So as you can see in the curly brackets, it'll pass that information through. So if we take a look at this, this is our funnel. Justin's going to go through more of it tomorrow. But if we track the traffic that clicked on that link, this is what that URL is going to look like in the top, okay? You guys probably can't see it, so I put it over on the left and pointed to the part of the URL that it is. Again, you'll be able to see this in the slides later. But you have UTM source, Facebook ads. The UTM campaign name was top of funnel phase 2 agencies. Here in a couple minutes, you'll understand what phase 2 means. Target ID, agencies' interest. Now what that essentially is telling us, it's an interest-based agency audience. It's not a lookalike, it's not a customer list that we uploaded, it is an interest-based audience. And the demographics of US, Canada, and the UK. The ad ID, if we go back and see, who likes to ad? Who thinks that's catchy? I got 99 problems, but appointments ain't one. Let's give a round of applause for Daniela, who actually had that idea. How cool is that? Daniela, if you guys don't know, she is our sales coordinator. She started out as an appointment setter that came through our recruitment program. And we were on our all-hands-on-deck meeting, and shyly, very shyly, like Justin and I are going through everything, she raised her hand. She's like, guys, I have an idea. Okay, what is it? She's like, I think it's a really cool ad if you guys did it. I got 99 problems, but appointments ain't one. I was like, you are a genius, my friend. That is one of our best performing ads. So another round of applause for Daniela. Cool. All right, so if we see there in my ad ID, I'm listing out 99 problems. I know what that is, contextually, et cetera. And then UTM content gives the rest of the information I need. It's an image, right? So all of these, I'm pointing at arrows to kind of break this down. I don't know what I was thinking at 2 a.m. Then from here, on the left-hand side, if you go to our funnel, you'll see this form. This is what all users see whenever they go there, right? You click on the big green button. You try to leave the page, it's going to pop up. It's called exit intent. Essentially, what that is doing, that's the information you're going to see. On the right is the information you don't see because these are all hidden fields. Now, most form platforms, places where you build forms, Jotform, Typeform, I could list out 100, but I can't remember right now, have a way to create hidden fields. And each one of those hidden fields has a query code that you can pass data through. And what it does is when that form is submitted, if there is a parameter that uses that query key in the URL, it's going to capture the information that comes after it. So if we look at these UTM parameters, I don't remember what slide I put it on, but essentially, if you could see this, it's an question mark is what starts your UTM parameters. You write out UTM underscore campaign equals, and then you put the information. And then if you have more, you put an ampersand, the and sign. Anything that comes after that equal sign and before the ampersand sign will be stored inside that value. So over on the right-hand side, we have more information here for our own internal tracking, which isn't relevant for the context of this presentation. But you have ad ID, target ID, UTM campaign, UTM source, campaign ID, and UTM content. If there's something in the URL, that form is going to collect that, and it's going to be tied to the lead that opted in. So we have their name, their email, their phone number, what source they came from, what campaign they clicked on or came from, what audience they came from, and what ad they clicked on. Who would like to have that much intelligence about their campaign performance? Think you can make some good decisions then? Yeah, perfect.
If you enjoyed that, press here for the full unedited version of this episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Adios.